Well, parents and guardians. I'm glad to have you back for another episode of Fearlessly Parenting. But before I get started, I want to remind you please like us on Rumble, Parler, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And while you're out there on the web, we do have our podcast on YouTube. And if you haven't had a chance to go and subscribe for that, please do all of these things. Help us out our show. Now, you've been an awesome audience because here in just a few months, we've already had over 750 downloads and we're rapidly approaching 1,000. It's because y'all are an outstanding audience. In November, it's the month of Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be showing my thanks for my audience by giving away parenting courses, some books, and some other goodies. In fact, if you email me at slewis at inwardjourney.com this week, I'm going to give away 5 of Pastor Scott Wilson's Parenting on Purpose books and online video course. Ensure you email me at slewis at inwardjourney.com. That's inward without the I, no I, followed by journey, all in lowercase.com. And note, we will not sell your information or give it away to others. Now, these books that the winners will get, let me tell you a little bit more about them. The Parenting with Purpose class includes over 11 videos where Scott Wilson and his team take the time to unpack concepts and teachings in the book through honest and practical discussion. The class is perfect for individuals, couples, and small groups. And now, for our show. Today's topic is on disrespect. Now, that might not seem the most bright and shiny topic to put out there. One is kind of depressing, but it's something that we need to talk about. And parents need to be aware that you cannot allow your child to disrespect you, disrespect their siblings, and you can't allow them to disrespect themselves. In Colossians 3:20, it says, "Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord." Christian parents, guardians, try to raise your kids up to fear the Lord. Get them in His Word. Talk to Him about His Word, and get them to understand the importance of being obedient. Now, when your kids and your teens go into their adult years and they start working in the real world and they have bosses in the workplace and executives who put down mandates and orders, if they can't obey you, they're not going to obey their bosses, and they're going to be jumping from job to job to job. So it's important while they're young, while they're children, while they're teenagers, to understand the importance of obedience and authority. And I'm not talking about blind obedience, following anybody anywhere for any reason. But when they do become adults, there will be rules and standard operating procedures that they'll need to abide by. And so the time to respect authority, to respect the rules, starts now, parents. It starts now. See, you can't export what you don't know. And if your child hasn't learned how to be obedient, how to honor, how to respect, when they get into adulthood, it's going to be hard for them to export that because they've never practiced it. And practicing it in the home is what honor your father and mother. That's what makes it so important. This is the first commandment. And it's a commandment with a promise. The Lord says, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on this earth. Ephesians 6:2-3. Children who cannot become self-led when they're neither obedient nor learn how to follow others. Again, there's no way your child's going to learn to be self-led when they can neither be obedient nor learn how to follow others. People, as I said earlier, who cannot follow, they make poor leaders. So it's incumbent upon us parents to be change agents. So let's look at this here. Change agent practices. Try this. Connect the consequence to the behavior. Say if it's a 2 to 5 year old, hey, maybe you want to put them in timeout or a calm down corner, or 6 to 10 years old, lose what they most like to do. Preteens and teenagers, consequence cards that y'all sit down and talk about what the consequences will be if you don't obey. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do and you don't do your chores, hey, for these preteens and teenagers, there should be consequences. Discuss it with them, write it down, make sure that they understand it, and hold them to it. And parents, might I ask that when you discipline your children, remember the word discipline comes from disciple. And you want to disciple your child. And you're going to have to do so according to their behavior characteristics. Many of you know, because of prior episodes, that my daughter's an I on the DISC scale. I'm a D. And you have S that are supportive, C's that are very analytical. They're your compliant child. But D is dominant. I is high strung. I mean, they are people persons. They love people. Sometimes they don't focus. I can't discipline somebody that is an I like I would do with somebody that's a D. With somebody that's a D, you definitely want to sit down in front of them, be authoritative, and say, hey, this was the rule. You broke it. Here's the consequence. Bullet point it for them. Make sure that they understand. While the I, you can't do them that way. All right? They take criticism and they really internalize it more so than any of the other three behavioral characteristics. They really internalize it, so you have to talk to them differently. And what I'm trying to get across, parents, if you have 2, 3, 4, or more children in your house, then you have 2, 3, 4, or more different personalities. And you have to discipline your child according to their personality so that they understand. You'll find in the show notes a link to some of the characteristics of children that are D's, I's, S's, or C's. I put this out there for you, so feel free to download it. Another thing that you could try is display positive house agreements and make sure that everyone in the family understands what they mean and adheres to them. In fact, if your children are older elementary age kids, preteens, and teenagers, hey, ask them what some of the rules should be. You'll be surprised at what they'll tell you. But here's the key concept in that. If you get them to put that out there for you, the higher the chance is that they're going to follow through with it. So incorporate your children's ideals and opinions into the house rules and then hold them to it. It not 2 or 3 warnings or 5 or 6. My father didn't believe in that. I mean, he told you one time and that was it. All right? At least with me, and he made a big believer out of me. But parents, you should only give one warning. I've seen parents out there say, I'm going to count to 10. Well, you done counted 9 numbers too many. Okay? If you tell your child to come here, your child needs to come here. They go 1, 2, 3. No, you don't come here. There's a consequence with that. When my children were younger, one thing I wanted to make sure is that if I told them to stop and don't move, that they would stop and don't move. I'd be out in the front yard, my children would be playing, and ball goes in the street. You can imagine what follows after that. And then there they go, try to get the ball. And I say, stop. They had learned that when they heard Daddy's voice tell them to stop or tell them to do specific things, it was not open to discussion. They needed to stop right then and there and do what I told them. And it was for their safety. So parents, only provide that one warning and then have consequences that your children have to uphold. The bigger picture is this. When children learn to obey their parents, they learn to submit to authority and follow those who lead them. Parents, please help your child understand the values of obedience and submission by being a parent they want to follow. And what that means is that you simply need to be the example. You need to be the leader. And no, I'm not talking about being perfect. You heard me say before, there's no such thing as a perfect person. But when you make a mistake, parents, own up to it. Because you're teaching your child to own up to their mistakes. And they're going to make mistakes. So here in 2, you got to show them how to handle things when they make mistakes, and it starts with you. Parents, you are the cornerstone of their lives. God put you there for a reason, and he put you there to teach your child and raise them up in the way they should go. Well, that's all that I have for you for this particular episode. Don't forget to email me to get a chance to get a copy of Pastor Scott Wilson's Parenting on Purpose book and online video course. Ensure you email me at slewis@inwardjourney.com. That's inward without an I, followed by journey, all lowercase.com. And share this podcast with just one. I'm not asking you to share it with 5 or 10 people. If there's somebody that you've been thinking of, somebody with kids, somebody with preteens, teenagers, you say, you know what, they may get something out of this, then share this podcast with them. Share it with just one family, member, friends, or peers. And again, like us on Rumble, Parler, Facebook, LinkedIn, and check us out on YouTube and subscribe. Well, that's all that I have for you for this particular episode. Parents, I want you to go forth and fearlessly parent. Until next time, God bless.